Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Thank you for joining me on my channel. My name is Linda and I'm a scrapbooking photographer. Today's video is to join in on the Mad About Minis hop. Now, Mad About Minis is technically about mini paper pads, and I do use a mini paper pad today. I use some sheets out of this 6.5 inch pad from Kaisercraft. And I'm also putting together a very special album for our 40th wedding anniversary, which is in March 2025. So if you've been watching previous videos in this series, you will know that I have done some process videos for a few other different pages. So feel free to look back at those. Today's video is going to be the end of the album, the second to last page, and it's going to be cheers on one side, and I'm not sure about if I'll put anything on the other side, but I'm going to make a double page layout which is going to look a little bit like a notice board. So I've got 12 2x2 inch photos, and I just wanted to show you how I got these ready. I've recently discovered a really cool app called Project Life. So this is the icon for Project Life, and then you get different options down here, but to create, you come in here and then you get the option to do a collage page, editorial page, or 4x6 prints. Now, where I get my photos developed at the moment, 4x6 is by far the easiest. They don't do square photos anymore, and they don't do anything smaller really than a 4x6. So this has been a real find for me. When you click on the 4x6 photos, you get this frame. So this is dividing the 4x6 into two. And then you can push on layouts here and get a variety of different layouts that you might use. So in this particular case, I've used number 12, which gives me 6 2x2 photos. So then it's just a matter of clicking on here and going into my photo library, which brings up all of my photo albums in my library, and then it's finding the album of us. And it brings up all these different photos, and then I can just click on one and it goes in here. Then I can click on another one and it will bring it up here. Now obviously you wouldn't want it like that, but you do have the option to bring it down so that it gets the position that you want it to be in. And then when it's all finished, I'll just quickly load these in, even though I've already got them printed. So then when you're happy with it, you can download it, export it as an image, and then save the image. And so now that will be saved in my recent album on my photos. So if we go back into my photos and recent, it's there. So then I can get that printed and then divide it into 6, which is what I've done to get these little 2x2 photos that I'm going to use in today's layout. So we'll come back to those a little bit later. What I'm going to start with is the colour Mist from Close to My Heart. And that's going to be the background colour, so I'm using those as pages. And then I'm going to use a really nice sort of embossed black piece of paper from in here. And I'm going to use them both and hope that they're enough. And I'm also going to use some stickers perhaps from here. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do as I speed this video up is to trim these 6.5 pieces of paper into 1/4 inch slices. So that's going to form the basis of the notice board. And then I'll use some of the wider pieces and the other pieces of paper for the frame around the outside. So I'll just pop those to one side for now, and using the Close to My Heart Versamat, bring in the 6x8 piece for the album. The diagonal lines on the mat are what we're going to use to line things up. So I'm going to put this page in the centre with 3 inches on either side, 2 inches at the top and 2 inches at the bottom. So you can see that those diagonal lines are evenly placed from the outside. So if I put the all-purpose mat underneath, I can use that to apply the adhesive, and then if there's any over the sides, I'll just rub it off the mat a bit later. And then following the lines of the Versamat, I'm putting in the first couple of pieces that will go diagonally. This one I can just cut in half or rip in half to do the extra little bit. And it doesn't matter about the rip being in the page section, and when I do it up the top you'll see there's a little white patch, but that's going to be covered by a photo or a sticker or whatever. Now the next one I'm doing from the centre of the bottom, which is 3 squares in, and so it lines up with 3 squares up on the right hand side. And the same with this one. You can see I've just pointed out 3 squares from the centre to the edge, and then down 3 squares for the other end. And then lining up this one from the centre of the bottom, and again 3 squares up on the left. And then the same on the other side, coming down from the centre of the top. I'll go down to where the intersection is for 3 squares on the right. And then it's just a matter of turning it over and trimming off the excess little strips, and just using a pair of scissors to go around the outside and getting rid of that excess. And when that's all clear, I can then bring in the other page of mist and put it next to it. So I'm going to do the same process by putting it in the middle, and I'll do this one even faster so that you can see it come together quickly, but just making sure again that there's 3 inches on the left and the right, 2 inches at the top and the bottom. Now for these first 2 pieces, I do keep the right hand side next to it, because with a 1/4 inch strip to play with, it's easy just to get it a little bit out of kilter with what we've done on the other page. So it's really handy to have that other page there to line things up and make them look even and continuous. Well, just while I go ahead and put the rest of those strips down to make the left hand notice board, I'll remind you that this is part of a hop, which is Mad About Minis. So just you look in the description of the video below, you will find a list of other people taking part in the hop, and watch their videos and get some inspiration too for what you can do with the mini paper pads. When you watch the other videos and find something you like, don't forget to click the thumbs up and perhaps leave a comment, and even subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We all love to get your feedback, and it's really great when new people subscribe and decide to follow us on our scrapbooking adventures. Okay, so we're just trimming the last of the strips from this left hand page, so that then we'll end up with the double spread of notice board. And the next thing I'm going to do is put a frame all the way around the outside of both of them with the same paper, but cut a little bit wider. So I will just cut some 1/2 inch strips, so twice the size of what we've used in the middle, and trim them to 6 inches to put on the top and the bottom of both pages. Now the ones that go down the side obviously need to be 8 inches, which isn't going to work with paper pads that are 6.5. So I will have a join, and on the left hand side I will have the join towards the top, and on the right hand side I will have it towards the bottom. And the reason I do that is because I will need to put something over the join to disguise it, and it kind of balances nicely if I do that on the top left as well as the bottom right. Now I'm also doing a bit of a cheat here with the mitering of the corners. It can be quite a challenge to get two pieces of angled paper to meet exactly in the corner. So this way it's a little bit cheating, but I've put a straight edge down underneath, and then I'll trim the overlapping layer so that the angle shows on top. And that way it looks like the corner has been perfectly mited with the black edges touching. And that gives us the look of the notice board that I can then scatter the photos around and tuck them in underneath those strands. But before we do that, I want to add a little bit of a sticker. So I have stamped the word cheers onto the sticker from the For Always pack, and just to bring it out a little more, I'm going to stick it onto a black piece of cardstock and then just trim around the outside so there's a little bit of a framework around there to match with the ink and also the strips on the notice board. I'll use a little bit of foam tape on the back in a few different spots to raise that up, and I'll just position it so that it covers firstly that join that we've got on the top left of the outer framework, and also the join on the diagonal strip as well. And then the fun part starts, trying to organise where these little photos will go. It's a little bit of trial and error and just tucking little parts of the photos that are less important underneath those diagonal strips and trying to fit them so that they look good, I guess, and making sure one of them, of course, is going to cover that join that we've got down on the bottom right. Once everything is stuck down and I finally decided where it would go, the places I'm pointing out where the strips intersect, I want to just put a couple of little dots off the same pack For Always as the big sticker came from, so that it just blends in and highlights it a little more as a kind of a notice board effect. So I'll just dot those around a wee bit and add a tiny little bit of journaling down on the bottom. And then the last effect I'm going to add is some liquid pearls. Now the colour is called Onyx, and I do go perhaps a little bit overboard, but I wanted a good coverage in the gaps between the photos and the strips. I will add some close-ups of the pages at the end of the video. But if you think you'd like to copy this or scrap lift it, then please feel free to pause and take a screenshot so that you can refer to it at your leisure in the future. It can easily be adapted to a 12 by 12 page as well. And that's my 2 pages for this month's Mad About Minis. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day and happy crafting.